On April 25, 2026, the unseen shield was tested again. During the White House Correspondents Dinner at the Washington Hilton, an attacker charged the main Secret Service security checkpoint armed with a shotgun, a handgun, and multiple knives. Shots were fired, prompting agents to instantly rush President Donald Trump and his cabinet off the stage. A Secret Service officer took a bullet to the chest, saved only by his ballistic vest, before the attacker was apprehended unharmed. While the motive of this lone actor remains under investigation, the systemic question is immediate. How did a heavily armed man get within yards of the entire executive branch? Tracing this breach reveals a chilling vulnerability. When you put a president in a public hotel, you're basically trying to build a fortress inside a fishbowl. The attacker reached the ballroom checkpoint fully armed, simply by walking through the hotel lobby. To prevent this, the government is debating moving high-value events to sterilized, fortified federal facilities. The April 2026 Hilton breach wasn't just a lapse. It was a reminder that every protocol we have today is written in the blood of a failure we didn't see coming. To truly understand the impossible task of protection, we have to look all the way back to the day the shield was born. September 6, 1901. Before drones or armor existed, presidents walked among the public guarded only by local police. That era ended when President William McKinley was assassinated inside the Temple of Music by Leon Czolgosz, an anarchist who fired a .32 caliber revolver twice at point-blank range. McKinley was shot because the attacker blended perfectly into a public handshaking line. His weapon went entirely unnoticed because the guards did not check for concealed weapons. The gun was hidden inside a handkerchief, wrapped to look like a medical bandage. The guards failed to inspect the bandage because their training focused exclusively on scanning the crowd for suspicious faces, completely ignoring the hands of the public. Realizing that local police could not protect a president, Congress enacted the Sundry Civil Expenses Act of 1906. This officially directed the Secret Service to take over the permanent, full-time protection of the president. It was the birth of the inner perimeter. While the inner perimeter was established, a massive vulnerability remained open. The most sweeping architectural rewrite of presidential security was forced on November 22, 1963. President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas, by a Marxist sympathizer who fired a rifle from an elevated window. The systemic breakdown in Dallas remains the most studied security failure in American history. The president was fatally struck by a sniper because he was riding in an unarmored, open-top convertible that offered a clear line of sight. The president was essentially a sitting duck in a parade. The agents failed to spot the sniper before the shots were fired because they were strictly scanning the crowd at street level, entirely ignoring the high ground above them. This catastrophic vertical blind spot existed because standard operating procedures of the time did not mandate securing or physically searching elevated structures along a motorcade route. Dictated by the findings of the 1964 Warren Commission report, the era of open-top motorcades was permanently ended in favor of rolling armored fortresses. Furthermore, the Secret Service intelligence divisions were expanded to mandate advance work, a protocol requiring agents to proactively map out every window and rooftop, finally taking control of the vertical airspace. We hardened the vehicles, but the shield remained porous the moment the president stepped out of the car. On March 30, 1981, President Ronald Reagan was shot in the chest outside the Washington Hilton, the exact same hotel where, 45 years later, the perimeter would fail again during the April 2026 Correspondents' Dinner. The attacker fired 6 shots from a .22 caliber revolver in under 2 seconds. Reagan survived, though his press secretary was permanently disabled. This attack highlighted a glaring vulnerability in transitional spaces. Reagan was shot because an unvetted person was able to stand just 15 feet away, mingling freely with the White House press pool. The attacker could mingle so easily because there was no physical barrier separating the general public from the press line. The transition zone from the hotel to the car was completely open, lacking any mandate for heavy electronic screening. Through updated Secret Service Treasury directives, the use of magnetometers became strictly mandatory for anyone entering a presidential perimeter. This era also saw the formal deployment of the Secret Service Counter-Assault Team, a heavily armed tactical unit designed specifically to lay down suppressive fire during a sudden ambush. By the modern era, the physical space around the president was heavily screened and heavily armed. Yet, on July 13, 2024, the perimeter failed again. President Donald Trump was shot in the right ear during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. A 20-year-old attacker seeking infamy fired an AR-15 style rifle from an elevated roof just 400 feet from the stage, killing one rally attendee in the process. This modern failure exposed a critical breakdown in communication architecture. The president was shot from an elevated roof that was left unsecured because it fell just outside the Secret Service's formally defined middle perimeter. Even though local police spotted the attacker minutes earlier, they could not alert the Secret Service fast enough to pause the rally because radio communications were completely siloed, meaning the people who saw the gunman couldn't talk to the people protecting the president. This fatal delay occurred because there was no unified, real-time command center linking local tactical networks directly to the Secret Service Close Protection Detail. Driven by bipartisan House task force investigations, the Secret Service updated protocols to mandate the physical occupation of adjacent structures, the continuous deployment of overhead surveillance drones, and the strict integration of unified command centers. From the unsearched hands of 1901 to the commercial hotel lobbies of 2026, the unseen shield is never a finished product. It is a constant, high-stakes version update. The attackers will always look for the gaps in the code, and the defenders must endlessly rewrite the architecture of protection.